What's going on, guys? Happy 4th. Let me make sure this little Osmo Pocket 3 is focusing on me. There we go. Yeah, first off, happy 4th to everyone. Have a safe and happy 4th of July. I took a little morning bike ride. It's kind of overcast, not too bad out, but I wanted to talk to you a little bit about this medication thing, this Zoloft in particular for me, but really for anyone who's contemplating medication and wondering what maybe the first week or the first few days are going to feel like. I want to let you guys know, because that's probably the scariest thing, to actually commit to something that maybe you don't even believe in. Because, say, for my example, I've been pretty holistic and vegetarian and organic and trying to be supernatural, but at the same time, when you're really feeling lousy and like you have no other avenues to go other than maybe an extreme ayahuasca in the jungle of Peru or something like that, you try things, or you want to try things, or you're opened a little bit more because you're kind of desperate. But this is just to give you guys an idea about what I experienced with Zoloft, 25 milligram tablet, which is basically what I'm supposed to be taking for 1 week. And this is day 6, and I haven't taken it the last 2 days. So basically I took it for, I think, 3 days or 4 days, but let me go ahead and let you know a teeny bit about it. So day 1 was Saturday of last week, and essentially had really bad diarrhea, feeling super lousy, basically didn't want to move because my stomach was so upset I had to go to the toilet, and I just was feeling really kind of run down and lousy, basically not feeling well. So that was essentially day 1. So side effects were heavy, the diarrhea was out of control. Sorry, I know it sucks, but that's one of the things that you need to be aware of. So that was day 1, a really pretty lousy day, not very motivated, not feeling good physically or mentally, but probably more physically not feeling well. So day 2, basically I had a gut-wrenching stomach ache, like someone was kind of twisting my intestines, like a bad cramp, and diarrhea too, but it kind of let up, and I just felt off, and as I like to say, kind of spun out, just not really focused or clear, and not really feeling like myself. And I think that's one of the things too, when you feel really in tune with yourself, like I kind of do with my body and my mind, it kind of is torture when you feel something altering your body and mind in any way, let alone in a synthetic chemical way. So it's hard to just accept and trust the flow when you're feeling so lousy from these side effects, and you're supposed to hope and pray that these side effects are going to go away and it's going to make you feel good again and a better version of yourself, which I know is possible because I've heard it in people commenting. I have friends that are successful, as far as taking medication, but I also have the other side of the spectrum, really holistic healer friends, and they say anything with the medication, even if it is making you supposedly feel better, you're still having a lot of unknowns with chemicals that you don't know what the long-term effect will be in the long run. So that's also a reality and kind of scary. But for right now, this is day 6, as I said. Day 3, so you're aware, so the first 2 days felt really lousy. First day, as I said, really lousy physically. Day 2, I felt a little bit better physically, not much, but I felt more lousy and off mentally. Day 3, I felt more off mentally, and I just felt not well, if that makes sense. It's just a kind of general consensus of not feeling good, and it kind of sucked. I attempted to do a bike ride exactly like I am now, and I just didn't have it in me. I was going to do a video on my Mini 4 Pro, our drone, for those who aren't familiar with drones, and I just didn't have it in me. I just couldn't focus. I just couldn't feel like I wanted to go ahead and do a video and be focused and thorough, and just, again, felt off. I didn't feel myself, and I felt super like blah. So that was day 3. Day 4, I felt a teeny bit better, but not like me, if that makes any sense. So I felt kind of not like myself, but I did feel a little bit better, and I did not take anything, I don't believe, on the 4th day. Or maybe I did, I'm not even sure. But the bottom line is, Zoloft, for example, has a half-life, I believe, 24 to 48 hours. So right now, it's still in my system. Even though I haven't taken it for a few days, it doesn't just exit your system like a lorazepam or some kind of pill that's just going to kind of get in and get out. This is actually a slow, gradual buildup, which is why it takes your body some time to get used to. Apparently, the diarrhea is caused from stimulation of your GI tract. I'm not positive, I'm not a doctor, but at the same time, that's what I read up and that's what I've heard. And it's just one of those things where it's really uncomfortable. My stomach finally is feeling a little bit better. I still haven't really eaten much. Like today I had a smoothie, for example, that I made yesterday and I had some left over. Yesterday I ate really lightly, barely ate much at all, and I just haven't had an appetite. So stomach has definitely been off. Day 4, as I said, I felt a little bit better, but still not like myself. Kind of a scary feeling when you feel like you're changing you. And even though you may not be changing yourself and you still may be you at the core, you're going through a lot of different things. I mean, this medication obviously is pretty intense if you, day 1, go through all of these kinds of changes and feelings. So for just the first week, which I didn't even succeed in sticking with because I just felt like I wanted to take a little step back. Now I'm familiar with what the symptoms are going to feel like and be like, but I want to give myself a few weeks with nothing to kind of baseline and see if I can just kind of pull my shit together, to put it bluntly, and do my best. I'm eliminating caffeine. I'm not going to coffee because it definitely is something that exacerbates my anxiety. And if I have anything going on that isn't really great, or I'm overwhelmed with something and I have coffee, guess what? I start to worry about it more. I start to kind of freak out more. When I was in Washington recently on a trip, if you're doing something like that, where you're just enjoying yourself at a national park and you have caffeine or coffee, guess what? You can kind of burn that energy off in beauty and nature and just kind of play and explore, and it's not so bad. And I didn't really feel, honestly, any anxiety when I was in Washington with my friends. So for me, I'm a caregiver with my mom who's 89 with dementia. It's very challenging. It's not easy. You know, financially things aren't going amazingly well, but at the same time, I'm blessed in a lot of regards. But the only thing that I've been struggling with is my mental health and my stability with being depressed and anxious and fixating on things that probably don't need to be fixated on, and appearance and body image and whatever it may be. Maybe it's me just feeling like I'm not aging gracefully, but regardless, it's one of those things where, yeah, I kind of was desperate and I wanted to try something just to see if it would help. But the changes that I was feeling right away were kind of scary and kind of not something that I felt good with. And I wanted to just take a step back and play the more conservative approach. And I'm going to see how I feel and how I do and be ultra mindful and try to live ultra well as far as meditating, eliminating caffeine, and just good self-talk and staying positive and being out in nature and exercising. And I'm going to see what that is all about. I don't know. I mean, part of me, you know, friends of mine say I should be microdosing psilocybin or trying something natural like that. But regardless, for now, I'm just going to lay low, get off this medication. I mean, day 5, which was, I believe, yesterday, I had a little diarrhea in the morning. I know this is too much information, but at the same time, this is what you guys need and want to hear if you're considering starting a new medication. Just be aware that these side effects are pretty intense, and it's one of those things where you don't know. Like, this can be a really good solution for someone, or it can be really horrible for someone. You know, you can go ahead and do ayahuasca and go through that journey with a different type of medicine, a plant medicine, and have really amazing rebirth effects and feel love and the best you ever did, and purge and cleanse and get through the deep traumas. Or you can have a really horrific time integrating back into the world, and it could make you worse. Same thing with psilocybin. You can have a hardcore mushroom trip, a guided one, try to heal and go through it and see what happens, but at the same time, it could not be something that goes over well. I went and tried the ketamine route for my example, and it probably made things worse. So it didn't mean it was the ketamine. It meant that it was a bad clinic or 2 bad clinics that just didn't administer it in a careful, mindful, loving way, and it kind of traumatized me. So I had more crap to kind of deal with. But regardless, I'm just kind of explaining that I know it's really intense to start a new medication. It's a huge decision, and I get it, believe me. It's not something that comes lightly. It's not like you just pop a pill and decide to do it. You should definitely be in tune and mindful of the fact that it is something that you need to be willing to do for yourself. And I really do feel badly for people that are willing to go through these really horrible side effects to try to get better, because it does kind of show you where you're at in the stage of the game in regards of depression or anxiety or PTSD or whatever it may be that you're dealing with, OCD, ADHD. You know, my heart goes out to anyone dealing with mental illness. It definitely should be something that people are more aware with. There shouldn't be a stigma attached to it. There shouldn't be any issues or repercussions with me, for example, talking about Zoloft or me having a hard time at times. I'm not a bad guy. I'm a good guy. I care for a mom. I have a lot of heavy stuff in life, just like a lot of you guys do too, and I get it. So, you know, my life isn't any harder than anyone else's. We all have our own set of hurdles and circumstances that are very tough and challenging, and my heart goes out with you. But just know you will be okay, and you are loved. And I'm just hoping this helps, you know, ease some of the fear that may be, you know, in those that are kind of dealing or coming up against wanting to go through or wanting to maybe take the chance with a medication. I would definitely make sure you try other options first, whether it's exercising regularly, eating really well, maybe trying, you know, some edibles as far as THC, maybe try microdosing, psilocybin. Go through all the natural things first, but you do have to do what's right for you at the end of the day, and trust in the flow and give it some time. I know for Zoloft, for example, and a lot of people with medication, I wasn't planning on having this medication and staying on it forever. I doubt. Right now I'm in a really transitional part. I'm not exactly where I want to be as far as physical, geographic location. I'd much rather be in a Hawaii or a Washington or somewhere more remote with rivers and oceans and water sources that really do bring a lot of healing to my soul, at least. And I don't have that right now, so basically I would have probably used the medication as a bridge to get me through a patch that I'm just having a really difficult time with in life. So that is a possibility too. If you do start a medication, it doesn't mean you need to be on it forever. Maybe you can grab some of the things that you've learned and were able to figure out when you're on the medication, and then wean yourself off carefully with the doctor's guidance and take some of those gems and hold them with you and try to live a life without it. So anyway, kind of babbling at this point, but I'm hoping this helps. Happy 4th, guys. And again, there shouldn't be a stigma to anyone dealing with mental illness. The reality is everyone is dealing with something. I talk to people all the time, whether I'm riding my bike or at work or drones or whatever it may be. I'm a pretty outgoing guy. I always have conversations with people, as we say in Hawaii, kind of talk story with people. It's just part of being friendly and kind and a little bit more of an outgoing, fun spirit. And people always have stuff that they're dealing with. When I was actually at the doctor yesterday to get some paperwork filled out for something, I ran into an older man. He talked to me in the elevator. He was having all kinds of health problems. He actually was complimenting me on how good I look, asked how old I was. I explained I'm 51. He's like, oh, you're doing great, you look good. And he apparently was having all kinds of heart issues and had all kinds of heart surgeries. So yeah, everyone has their own set of circumstances in life. And if you have your health relatively intact, be grateful, be blessed, and that's it, guys. Stay positive. Love you. Happy 4th. And until next time, if you want, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Let me know what you guys are up against in life. If anything you want to share, feel free. No judgment at all. And bye.